Hi friends, welcome back to the Weekly Tweek, the show that has a team of 5 people all in desperate need of a break. A break of what? All of it. This week, the Louvre got robbed, and I'm happy to report that it went down exactly how we all imagined it would. 4 perpetrators appear to have been involved in the theft, who were unarmed and used a truck-mounted ladder to gain access. Investigators have not ruled out foreign interference. The robbery took only 7 minutes, with the suspects fleeing on motorcycles, and no injuries were reported. This was either one of the best museum heists to ever happen, or, seeming as it was 4 perpetrators from a foreign country who didn't harm any citizens, this was the best movie ad campaign for Now You See Me, Now You Don't, the 3rd installment of the Magician Heist movie franchise, coming to theaters November 14th. I don't even like movie theaters, but I would rob a bank to see this on opening night. Speaking of things you don't see, lead is making a comeback. Consumer Reports tests of 23 products found that more than 2/3 of them contain more lead in a single serving than our experts say is safe to have in a day. I think the most concerning part of these findings is that any amount of lead is considered safe to consume. But apparently, lead is so unavoidable, and I'm not just talking tampons and cinnamon, which also have more lead than you'd expect, but lead is so unavoidable that scientists now believe that Homo sapiens reacted better to lead exposure evolutionarily than Neanderthals. Basically, scientists found out that the Nova1 gene, a main character in our brain development, can handle lead a lot better than our caveman counterparts. So I guess to pay homage to our evolutionary ancestors, we should start sprinkling some cinnamon in our protein shakes and bring back some good old-fashioned lead paint. Worst case scenario, we suffer severe health risks and mental decline. But that's fine. Might as well be bedridden and loopy while consuming the news, since now correspondents refuse to sign the Defense Department's new press policy, so they lost their permanent credentials, barring them from the Pentagon. Washington Post, New York Times, and the Associated Press all left their longtime residencies last Wednesday. Even CBS, who, fun fact, reported live from the Pentagon back in 1944 on D-Day. Dozens of media outlets have vacated the premises, and some are considering increasing foreign reporting to prepare for decreased material out of Washington. Guys, it's happening. The US will finally start reporting on other countries like Mexico or France or Zimbabwe. Those are all the countries I learned about at school. And whatever Oceania is, I hope they're doing all right. But until the news outlets make bases in other countries, we're still talking about the US, and boy, does it just keep going. Arc de Trump is a real thing that's happening. Based on France's Arc de Triomphe in Paris, Donald Trump plans on building his own version near the bridge that leads to the Lincoln Memorial. How big will it be? Trump said there were 3 versions of the arch: small, medium, and large, but he liked the largest one the best. Okay, Queen. No shame. I see you. Trump also plans on bedazzling it with some jewels he's recently acquired from his design team. They call themselves the 4 Horsemen. And while Trump was busy playing the world's most expensive game of Minecraft, the rest of America, you know, the country he runs, was holding a second rendition of the No Kings protest. Over 7 million people showed up around the country on Saturday. And I could go on and on and on about what this represents and how this came to be and all that jazz, but instead, I present to you a heartfelt montage of some of the protesters and their exercise of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
I love seeing some handmade art. Art made by real people, by humans, by those of us with blood and guts and pulses and neurons and a whole lot of carbon. And in response to the protest, Trump commissioned his own art to share with the country. So much happening all the time, and it's getting hard to keep up. And our poor research team has to throw away things that they feel would be important if we weren't on the verge of a national revolution and or collapse, really anybody's guess. So we have a news segment to highlight all the news that would probably be a bigger deal if we weren't so caught up in all this other news that is also a big deal. Welcome to Nobody Cares. Disney's Soaring Across the World is getting a whole new look and theme next year. The ride that takes you on a dizzying journey through landmarks across the globe will now be renamed Soaring Across America and feature America's landmarks. It will take guests coast to coast over some of the most breathtaking spots in the United States. It's Disney's way of celebrating America's 250th birthday. Gone are the days of the Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China, and the Great Pyramids of Giza. Now comes Mount Rushmore, Ball of Twine, and Costco. But nobody cares. One of the Food Network's longest-running shows has just been canceled. The Kitchen, which has 40 seasons, is not being renewed. I've never heard of this show, but even Bobby Flay, the American version of Gordon Ramsay, but a little undercooked, said, "Thank you to The Kitchen and its fabulous chefs and hosts for holding it down in daytime for the Food Network." But besides Bobby Flay, nobody cares. A Google office in New York is experiencing a bedbug outbreak. Employees were sent a text the other day advising them to be on the lookout for bedbugs, which sounds pretty difficult, seeming as the average size of a bedbug is that of an apple seed. This is not the first time a Google office in New York has been infested with bedbugs. In 2010, offices in Manhattan experienced an outbreak. Wow. If only there was some kind of search program thing or something that we could use to look up how to prevent bedbugs. But nobody cares. And finally, the 2025 U.S. Steel Pan Continental Curling Championships kicked off this weekend. The event has 40 teams representing 25 countries. This is the first time a world-level competition has been to our region since 2007. It's truly an honor. All of these teams in our home country vying for a spot at the World's Curling Championship. Just look at some of the breathtaking, amazing action taking place in Minnesota. But nobody cares. Thank you for taking the time to watch this segment. Hopefully we can make a difference in snub news, one episode at a time, or whenever we do this segment. I don't know. I don't really care. Next, we teach you something very basic. Hi friends, welcome back to Very Basic Things, the segment where we explain some very basic things. Today, we are taking out the trash. This right here is called a trash can because you can take it out. Now the first step of taking out the trash is to open it up. Of course, you can lift the lid, but there is this handy dandy little foot pedal right here. I'm going to put my foot on it, and just like magic, it opens up. Unlike my relationships. Anyway, what you're going to do is take this bag. Now, I know you might be grossed out. There's trash in here. That's okay, honey, because this part was left on the outside. You can touch it. And what you're going to look for is this little piece of ribbon that sticks out. There will be two, right on opposite sides of each other. You grab, pull, and squeeze out any extra air. This will come in handy later. Then, you tie it all together any way you want. Take it completely out of the can, and now we're gonna put this in a different trash can. Come with me. Hi friends, welcome to The Alley. If you live in communal living, like I do, and you probably do, then you're gonna have an alley. And this alley is lined with trash bins. A trash bin is like a trash can, but a lot larger, and you're not in charge of it. So once you have your trash bag that came from your trash can and you're in the alley, you're gonna go to a trash bin. Now they do not have foot pedals, okay? But you can still open it with your foot, like so. Ta-da! And of course you take your trash bag, put it in the trash bin, close the lid, and bing, bang, boom, you're not done yet, because guess what, friends? You have to replace the bag. Come with me. Hi guys, now we are back with the trash can. And the next and final step of changing a trash bag is to replace the trash bag. So here with me, I have hefty bags. And if you remember from your childhood, hefty, 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 stinky, stinky, stinky. It just lives in my head. So what you're gonna do is you're going to grab one of these bags, like so. Look how that's designed. It didn't pull anything else out. Kind of like a Kleenex, satisfying. And then you're gonna open it up, give it a little shake. Be mindful though, this is loud. Are we okay? I bet we are. So then you're going to open it up with the little pedal, stick your bag in, and then this blue part, yours might be red, might be green. All bags are different. And you're gonna wrap it around the circumference of your bin. And then shut the lid, and you are all done. Congratulations, friends. I hope you learned something very basic today. And we'll see you next week at the Weekly Tweek. Who knows what we'll learn? Hopefully good news, probably not. Good night.